All right, now, let's talk about that building. Obviously, I would like to demolish it. Do we want to put that in a form of a motion and then discuss it? Let's do that. I'll make a motion that we made a motion a meeting ago to look into demolishing that building. I've talked to the building department. Their big gun is asbestos, and he's assured me there's no asbestos in there. He says we can just pick up a permit and demolish the building and be done with it. So that all being said, I would like to make a motion that we raise that building. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, now let's open up some discussion. Go ahead, Joe.
All right, the building is not in that terrible condition, for one. I went and talked to, well, Tim, you took it upon yourself to look at that roof on the building, correct?
Yes, sir.
What did you come up with?
It's a solid roof. I'm not afraid of it all. It's poorly flashing. Top is flat. I think, now, it shouldn't have been shingle. It's a solid roof. And no fear of that. Whoever did it, it was his third or fourth job, he didn't, he was poor flashing, etc. But I have no fear.
Thank you. I talked to a couple of Amish residents about the building. They looked at the roof as well, and they come up with a price of $1,600 to $2,000 material cost to fix that roof, and they would do it gratis for us. They said they would gladly do as a community service. They would fix that roof for us. The building is not in that bad a shape, and I think that's a pretty neat thing for them to offer to do. They're becoming a larger part of our community. And the other thing was that that building is very usable. It's structurally very sound. It needs TLC because it's been neglected for years. And with them putting a roof on it would cost us no more than $2,000. I think it's a hell of a bargain. And that building could still be possibly rented out or whatever. And the other thing is, if you didn't want the building, you could offer it to the food bank at a price of demolition. And we do not have to have bids on that, according to Mr. Maduri. If it's handled properly, that, you know, if it's going to save, for example, it's going to cost how much? You came up with a price of $4,200 to demolish it. For $1,600 to $2,000, we get a brand new roof put on that thing, right on top of what's there, because it's only one level or one layer. They can put a metal roof on top of it, and it'll bring that building up to snuff. And then, in which case, it could be used for whatever. I still think the building's very usable. There's going to come a time down the road where we're going to need more storage space for more equipment. And the Dixie Park building can handle some of it, but that's kind of looks like it's getting kind of filled up as well. Or offer it to the food bank for what it's going to, for that $4,200, offer it for sale, then let the food bank buy it. For that kind of money, the township doesn't have to do a thing to it. It won't cost anything.
Well, I'll tell you what. I would agree with everything that you just said. I just really don't want to give up the real estate because it's part of our community square, our town square. So what I would entertain would be if the community, and I proposed this at the last meeting, if the food bank wants to take that building over with all of the expenses incurred with it, like I said, I would offer them a 3-year lease on my own. How about 10?
Well, they were talking.
How about 10?
They were talking 10 originally.
Okay, you want 10?
But, well, I'm not on that board anymore. I'm speaking as a past board member, and the board themselves have to speak about this. I'm on this board, not that one. But I'm saying that for them to take over that expense, it's a non-profit charitable organization. There's got to be some responsibility from the township to make that building right before you sign it off to somebody. If the Amish were, and they are willing to do this roof for $1,600 to $2,000, put a brand new roof on that thing, that's a hell of a deal. And if it's township expense, that's peanuts compared, it's less than half what it's going to take to demolish the building. And I still think structurally it's a very sound building. I think it'd be a shame to get rid of it. There is some history of that building in this township. You can laugh if you want, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, put that in the villager.
No, I agree with you. I don't have a problem with it. I've had a problem at the very beginning from us spending money on it. Why, let me ask you this, and I know you're not on that board, but why is the food bank reluctant to spend some money on a, wait a minute, let me
Okay,
finish,
no.
on a permanent home? They would have a permanent home, 10 years, 10 years, so they put $1,600 in it, and they have a building over there that they can live in for 10 years, provided they stay in operation.
Well, the thing was originally, they had estimates to put in heat, insulate floors, and again, some of the Amish were willing to help us on that deal. I think we're, Mike, was it around 7,000 or so?
Dan would probably know better.
Dan, do you remember what?
Yeah, we were planning on putting $6,000–7,000 into one-third
The interior.
of
make
the
it-
interior,
make
nothing
it
in the
usable
outside.
Okay.
For the food bank.
Sure.
And with that, if it's only gonna cost the township with the help of the Amish community, only $1,600, $2,000 to fix that roof and make that whole building usable, I think it's a pretty heck of a good deal.
But you don't think the food bank thinks it's a heck of a deal enough to come up with another $1,500 or $1,600? I mean, if you guys realistically, if you guys put together some kind of a fundraiser for that specific person, for that specific purpose, Pixley Park does it all the time. I would think you could do that. I can't clearly spend tax money doing it. That's my whole problem. $1,600 does not sound like a lot of money. I would think that you guys could garner that in no time at all.
Well, the problem is when we raise money for the food bank, $1,600 buys a heck of a lot of food. They're up to almost 200 clients already, and it's growing. And every penny so far that's been raised by that organization has been put into the food bank and food and so on. So I think my feeling is it's unfair for the township to have the food bank take on the expense of fixing that roof for the child, because they're only going to have a third of that building. The other 2/3 of it are still very usable, in my opinion, is that needs to be fixed up and put a concrete floors in so someday the township can use those other parts, because I think we're going to need it someday.
Well, you're entitled to your opinion, as I am into mine, and I don't think we'll need it. I don't see us doing that. If we needed any more building in the future, which that building that's down there at Pixley Park is built well into the future. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel about it. If you want to table this issue and you guys want to look at it and see if you want to try to come up with the money to do that, I would support that, quite frankly.
Mr. Elias, what would your opinion be on that, please?
You have to make a motion and tell us what your motion is. You have to agree with what you want to do.
Okay,
I'm hearing opinions. I don't hear any.
There's currently a motion on the floor.
Yeah, there's currently a motion on the floor right now to raise the building. Now, I'm willing to listen to everything that you said right there, and if you guys, you keep sidestepping this, do you think you want to do that or don't?
I don't think we're the ones sidestepping it.
No, do you?
I believe you have to, my opinion is that this board has to make a decision on that building. You made a motion to raise the building. You should follow through with that motion, and then we'll talk about it. If you're going to tear it down, what value is it done?
Can we table that motion?
Tom, we did that before. I hate to say anything.
I know, but you
Shut up.
I know
what's right and I know what's wrong.
No, in reality, I mean, if I tried to say that in that last meeting, if the food bank would, if they want to take all of the expense of the building and they want to, all they have to do, like I told you, I'm reluctant to give up the real estate. I can't do that. I can't agree to that. But all we would ask is an indemnification clause and being named on insurance for any problems that might come up. And I wouldn't even have a problem with us keeping the physical insurance on the building that we already keep on it. But the utilities and all of the other upkeep and all of the maintenance, if that charitable organization wants to take that on, then I was reluctant to go any further than a 3-year lease. But, you know, compromise is what makes the world happen, you know?
For you to ask the food bank to put all that money into a 3-year lease is just not acceptable. There's no business that's going to do that. I deal with major business. They have these readily signed 10-year leases on their stores. Otherwise, they wouldn't be interested in it. It's just not.
I asked the food bank if we donated the building to them if they wanted it, and it said no. You rent it in minutes.
We don't have the ability to donate it to them. We cannot do that. It has to go before either public auction or sealed bid. I've talked to the prosecutor about it.
But the question was, do you want it? The answer was no.
And as
Wasn't
But
it?
it was hypothetical. which
Yeah,
means
but
nothing.
it was the question, Joe. Don't get a... I mean, come on. It was the question.
But-
Do you want the building for nothing? And the answer was no. Oh, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll withdraw my motion to raise the building. I'll withdraw the motion. And you wanna come to... You hear the proposal that's there. And I know you're not on a board anymore and all of that. But do you guys want to do that? A 10-year lease, you take all the expenses for the building.
Make a motion and pass it on the board. And then I can tell you, I can comment on it. I can't comment on opinion, hypotheticals, things like that. And I can't make the decision either because I have to go to our board. And
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, I understand. Joe, you have a problem with raising a building, and I understand it. And in the spirit to compromise, you come back with a proposal. You understand what I'm asking you. If we have a 10-year lease, the nonprofit, community-based organization, whatever it is, accepts all responsibility for the outside, inside, and the grounds around that building, and they take care of all the maintenance and all the expenses on the building, and they include us in their insurance, and they give us a save harmless clause. I would support that.
May I make a recommendation?
Go ahead.
Please.
I would recommend, since you have a motion on the floor, you should go ahead and vote on the motion, and if you want to give them the opportunity to do this other deal, you just vote no on the motion. You can always move again later to take it down.
I just withdrew the motion. Didn't I? So we don't have a motion on the floor anymore. Thank you.
My mistake.
I'll gladly meet with the food bank board.
All right, we'll table the disposition of that building until our next meeting.
That would be fair enough.